Hey everyone, we are back to this OG time of 5:30 p.m. This is Jen. We are starting our very mellow Sundays starting today, so I'm really happy about that. November 15th is a perfect day to get started, especially as we head into the holiday season. Just a nice, chill way to stretch and to feel elongation in our muscles is a wonderful thing. So I'm glad you are here joining me. And as we are headed into the holidays, I know it's tricky to fit in time for yourself to do all of the workouts and exercises. So starting tomorrow, we are doing those quick bits. It's just going to be on Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays where we're doing those quick bits of starbursts. But today we are going to enjoy a really nice long mellow session. I know a lot of people are like, are you sure it's going to be mellow? Don't worry, it's going to be very, very mellow. I was thinking today, like neck, shoulders, and a teensy bit of hips as well. So these are the different areas that will work. And again, keeping it super chill. So feel free to bundle up, wear all your layers. If you want to wear socks, totally do your thing. Whatever feels nice is perfect. And as we are also headed into this season of like Thanksgiving and everything. We don't need to get too spiritual on this front, but I thought it'd be really nice at least every Sunday if we think about like one thing that we're like thankful for like whether it's like pride in yourself or like, friendship or whatever it is, just to think about it. It doesn't need to be something that you type out, but if you do think of something, oftentimes we are our own worst critics. So if there's something that you can, recognize that's really amazing and wonderful about yourself, sometimes that's just a nice exercise, right? And especially if sometimes we're kind of a little bit more hard on ourselves. So I will share with you mine because as the person who proposed this, I ought to share. I don't know if you remember, like a while ago, I started doing like crack climbing, and I was like, it was kind of like really frustrating for me. And the first time I got on it, it took me like 30 minutes to do on top rope, and like I went back home and I like cried. So today was my 6th time like overall on it. Like this is my 6th time running up it, and I did it on lead for the very first time, and I sent. So that to me, it made me feel very good, and I'm like, you're not so bad as you thought. So if there's something like that that you have, just to kind of like, a quick pat on your back, I think it's worth recognizing at least. Okay. We'll go ahead and get started. So we'll start in a kneeling position. So just your knees together, feet together, hips on your heels. And relax your arms down. You can tent your fingers on either side. Hey, Gwen. And sit up nice and tall, close down your eyes. And we're keeping it again very, very chill. So absolutely feel free to keep your layers on and all that wonderful stuff. Let's take a full deep inhale, get long, lengthen up, out through the crown of your head. And on your exhale, stay tall, gently start to soften your face, actively lower your shoulders down away from your ears. Do it again, full deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Start to gently tuck your chin in toward your chest and roll your head over to your left shoulder. Continue until your head rolls back toward the back of the room. And really take your time here. There's absolutely no rush. Eventually, your head makes its way toward your right shoulder. Let your head, your chin droop down toward your chest. And then continue until your head lands over your left shoulder. Take a moment just to breathe right here. Full deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Only if it feels good. On your next inhale, you can take your left hand up and just place it over your right ear for a gentle, gentle downward pressure. Relax your both shoulders down away from your ears. And give me a gentle tuck of your chin toward your chest. You start to feel the stretch run down the back side of your neck, side of your neck. And then do a very, very slight tilt of your chin upwards. Again, slight tuck of your chin down. And a slight tilt of your chin up. Good. Return back to neutral on your next breath. Release your left hand from your head if you placed it there. And return your chin back down toward your chest. Take one breath here with your chin toward your chest. On your inhale, feel still long, your shoulders over hips. And stay exhale. Your next inhale, start to roll your head over to your right shoulder. And again, you'll notice this pace is pretty slow, so take your time. Especially I feel like when my head starts to roll back, there's sometimes these weird transitions, almost like sharp edges that you need to start to roll through. Take your time through those places. See if you can manage maintaining your shoulders fairly relaxed down away from your ears. Eventually, your head lands over your left shoulder. You continue. Let your chin run down toward your chest. And then take a pause when your head eventually lands over your right shoulder. Let's take a breath here, in through your nose. And even without being able to see yourself, feel that you're facing that same direction. And exhale out, meaning your chin is neither tucked nor tilted, neutral. Now your next inhale as your option, take your right hand and place it just above your left ear. Gentle nudge downward pressure, a little bit. And then if it suits again, your chin slightly tuck it in. Relax your both shoulders down. And then let's start to tilt. Lift your chin upward. See how that stretch changes alongside your neck. Do that one more time now. A slight tuck of your chin. And slight go tilt your chin upward. Good. Let's return to neutral. And return your right hand back down toward the floor. And lower your chin back toward your chest. Notice anything changed, if anything changed in your spine. I tend to lean forward or arch a little bit, so see if you need to make just a slight adjustment, shoulders over hips. Good. And we'll stay for one more breath here with your chin slightly tucked in through your nose. And exhale out. Good. On your next inhale, let's lift our chin up, open your eyes, and let your hips drop over to your left-hand side. Good. Keeping your left leg bent, let's extend this right leg out long. And then flex your right foot back toward your face, left foot sole against your left thigh. And let's just find some squareness. So as you lift up out of your waist, You get a little taller here. Good twist. And once you find yourself pretty tall and square over your right leg, start to give yourself a very, very gentle hinge. Now your arms might be back behind you. That might feel good to give you a little bit of an active push. Lengthen out through the crown of your head. Or if you prefer to bring your arms forward, that's great too. Maintain your length, and we'll just hold for one more breath here in through your nose. We'll keep this one active. And exhale. Maybe we hinge a little bit deeper. Remember, arms back, arms forward is perfect. Whatever one works better. And we'll do one more breath here. Full deep inhale, lengthen. Take the time, reach out to the crown of your head, your tail. And exhale, hinge a little bit deeper. Think of just that place hinging, nowhere else. Long, long leg, long, long spine. And then from here, let's actually point these toes downward, and that might alleviate a little bit of pressure from the backside of your leg here. And then maybe you'll be able to hinge maybe a little bit farther. For a moment, let's kind of take our spine out of the equation, so not too concerned about it anymore. Allow your spine to kind of just melt and really allow your upper body to go heavier over your right leg. And if you have access to it, maybe your face just touches just below your shin, or not below your shin, on your shin, just below your knee. Good, and go for some length through your right leg. And we're not super concerned about our spine for just the moment. Take one more breath here. Full deep inhale. And long, slow exhale. Good. Gently, gently. On your inhale, start to lengthen. So feel your spine lengthen out, your chest open up as you lift yourself up out of that place. Nice. We'll keep our legs sort of as is. We'll flex this right foot again, and then take this left knee out to the left, just a little bit farther. So create some space here. We go for a side body stretch, really nice and easy. Think of letting your right shoulder come inside of your right leg, and maybe your right forearm can rest, and this feels good, right? Kind of restful. Extend your left arm up. We're going for this side body stretch. So think of your body in the same line as this right leg. And as you inhale, lift up on this right hand side. On your exhale, maybe reach a little bit farther. And as you peek up toward this ceiling, if this left arm is like super in front of you, let's try on this inhale again to lift on this right side. And then on your exhale to rotate your chest. And find some space there. So you're long on your right, lifted, and you're also long on this obvious left-hand side stretch. Feel your both hip points melt into the floor, nice heavy. Extend out through your left arm, open up your left side body. Feel your right rib cage even peek inside of your right thigh. One more breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach, reach, reach. Ooh, that feels good. Inhale, gently come back up. All right, we'll still keep this right leg as is. We'll swap out our left leg. So just do a quick reverse so this left foot goes back behind us instead. So you're in like a sort of a splitsy situation. Your body will be inclined to stay inside, facing inside of your legs. Let's square up again over our right leg. All right, lift up tall, and then see your right leg sometimes likes to just drop over to our right. See if we can just face everything straight up north, toes, knee, everything else, good. And then gentle hinge. Think about your chest coming toward your knee and your face somewhere in between, just resting maybe over your shin or hovering above your shin. Hands can be back behind. Hands can be in front of you. However you'd like to do it, go for that really nice long hamstring stretch here. And it's interesting when I think about this hamstring stretch, I also think about sticking my tail out even here in this single leg position. So as you hinge, rather than thinking about everything completely falling down, think about lengthening your tail out and back as well. So you're creating even more space, or what feels like the case, space in the back side of your leg. Good. Take one more breath here in through your nose. And exhale out through your nose. Hold. Hold at your depth. For 4. For 3, lengthen out through your crown. For 2, when we're holding the position, find it again kind of active. For 1, nice. And we'll gently lift ourselves up out of this one. This time we'll keep our left leg as is, and let's bend up this right one. So now you're sort of in a 90-degree position with your right leg, and your left leg might be 90 or slightly acute. And we'll square up again, and then we'll make this pretty gentle. So again, as you come forward, think about your front body super long. You can rest on your elbows like we did in that side body stretch. And this will help support us or support our weight up so it doesn't feel too aggressive. If you want something a little bit heavier, your body is like receptive to this, then maybe you can start to allow your weight just to go heavy over. But you'll feel it right away whether it like works for you or doesn't work for you. So be flexible with that. Maybe it's better for your body today to support yourself up, right? This really halves the weight and allows you to focus on the length of your spine, the openness of your chest, which is huge. Right? Or again, if you feel like, oh, this is kind of okay, you maybe start to send your elbows out a little bit farther away from you. So there's still a little bit of support that you're giving yourself, but you're starting to let your chest press a little bit heavier, still with these flexed out feet on both sides. Good. Let's take just one more breath here. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, see if you can soften. Good. For our next one, we're also doing kind of like a twist, a side body stretch type of thing. We'll stay low, so you can stop anywhere along the way. I'm gonna face a little bit more this way. Okay, so you have both feet flexed, your elbows are in front of you. Start to walk your elbows out toward your right foot. So now we're sort of like in this diagonal position. This ought to change up your stretch just a little bit, and if this feels kind of aggressive already, you stay right here and allow yourself to just gently breathe into your hips and allow this right side to feel a little bit more open breath by breath, right? A little bit heavier, a little bit softer, a little bit more receptive. If this is still kind of working out for you, we're going to continue. Remember, you don't have to. We're stopping anywhere along the way. I'm going to scoot over a little bit. So you're either here or you're continuing kind of that gentle walk with your elbows now maybe your right elbow inside of the right sole of your foot. This will be as aggressive as we get. So this, remember, is just an option, and it's just if you feel like your hips might be open and willing to do this today. Remember, this is huge. Love it, feels great, all those things. If you are interested in this option, remember, you don't have to. There are a couple of ways to do it, right? You leave your right elbow where you have it inside the sole of your foot, and you press your left hand into the floor to do a couple of things, right? You push to give yourself some length out through your crown, to give yourself some lift to lengthen out through your spine, and then maybe you can push even more to give yourself a twist. And if you're like, that still feels kind of okay, you can take your right fingers, ball them up, take your left palm, press into your fist, and do the same thing. So it just becomes a higher point at which you can twist and push and gain some leverage for a little bit more. So anywhere along the way, you open up your chest, lengthen out through your spine, still relax your shoulders, and still going for that nice right side hip opening stretch. So you're here, or here, or here, right? Basically, that final bit just gives you a bit more twist, and that's just a little bit icing on the cake type of thing. Okay, we'll take one more breath wherever you are. You're here, or you're here, or you're here. On your exhale, soften in, relax your shoulders, maybe allow your upper body to kind of go heavier on this right-hand side. All right. On your next inhale, let's gently exit out of this one. We'll take this right leg that was at a 90 and we'll make it like a pigeon shape. So sit yourself up and then send your left leg long back behind you. Think about your left leg, top of thigh, making its way flat against the floor as opposed to your inner thigh. So your right butt cheek up off of the floor. And for just a quick moment, lift yourself up super tall. Lift your chest, feel that stretch maybe in your left side hip flexor, and square up. Just like all of those other stretches we did, as you fold yourself down, maintain your long front body. And first, maybe we start with our elbows on the floor. This takes the weight out of our legs to start and gives us time just as our diagnostic to feel it out. Like, is this working? Is this not working? Maybe I need to add a little bit more, ease off a bit more. Find some length in your spine. And if you can manage it, tuck your toes in and continue to send your left leg back a little bit farther. So you're starting to close off any little gaps between your hip flexor and the floor, right? Little bit at a time. I don't know that it'll close up all the way. We're just sending it back just a bit more. And then you maintain that squareness over your right leg. Maintain that length out through your crown, all the way down through your spine. And if this still feels okay, this is completely body to body dependent, day to day dependent. So you ask your body and your body will give you an honest answer. You can start to maybe lighten up the load on your elbows, right? You can separate your elbows out a little bit wider, walk them out farther away from you. And again, you can still use your elbows for support, or you might choose to not. All right, if you choose not to use your elbows any longer, your weight will kind of be quite heavy over your right leg. And the thing just to check in then is it's kind of easy to roll over to my right side with my right butt cheek completely falling over. And then now the top of my left thigh is no longer facing the floor. So that's the one thing. We just want to make sure we're still square, we're still in that good alignment. And just take your time with your head. You don't need to look up. You can let your head just rest heavy. And we'll take one more breath here. You can continue to do the whole left leg elongation process by tucking your toes and sending your left leg back farther. And we'll take one more breath here. In through your nose. And exhale out through your nose. Good. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands up closer to your hips. Lift yourself up, and we'll do that upright position once again. So use your fingers against the floor to lift yourself up tall and find that stretch for yourself on your left side hip flexor. Really square up, lift up tall through your chest, find that place. Good, and then gently let our hips fall over to this right hand side. Perfect. Keeping your right leg as is, let's bend this left leg, put this left foot over our right knee, and of course drop this left butt cheek down to the floor. And on this one, we always mention both hips on the floor. Check with your left knee though, like sort of automatically just likes to fall over. And I find that if our left knee faces up toward the ceiling, it's much easier foundation-wise to build it. So left hand behind, you know this, right arm up, and let's give ourselves a really nice twist. Lift up tall, Feel your belly button pull in. And on your exhale, keep your belly button pulled into your spine. Twist. So you're as tall as you can be. Inhale, really lift. Pull your navel in tight. Use the leverage of your arm against your leg. Go, twist. Go, twist. Go, twist. Good, gently let's untwist. And we'll switch out our legs. So our right leg is actually in a perfect place. We'll just extend this left one out. Sole of your right foot up against your left thigh. And just check in with your left leg. Sometimes it just likes to kind of sink out to the left. Check your knees facing up, your toes are facing up. Let's square up over our left leg. And this going from even like a baby slouch, doesn't look like I'm too slouched over, but I can really afford to lift up and then find that square position. And this tall position is so much better for my hinge relative to just this like baby slouch and hinging over. All right, so let's take the time to really lift, find that good twist, that square up position, and then gently hinge from there. Your hands might be behind you. All right, and always that's a really nice place to start because using my fingers, I can kind of gently push myself forward and find some elongation through the crown of my head, lengthen. And I find that probably using hands behind is as precise of a place I can get in terms of like a long spine and all that stuff. But this is just personal preference, right? So you might find that you're able to maintain a very good long spine even with your hands in front. And I feel like if you go from there to here, you can, because you're starting off with such a strong, solid foundation. And we'll take a couple breaths, right? Give yourself a pretty hard flex so you feel a decent stretch through the back side of your left leg. Think about the back of your knee pressing in toward the floor as you send energy out through your heel. And we're going for some length in our spine just to start. And when we do the length in our spine, you might feel like, oh gosh, this I can't really hinge that deep. Maybe I'm up here, and that's perfect, right? Because people always ask, what's more important, the long spine or, I think Gwen has actually asked this question in person a long time ago, what's more important, the long spine or the length of your leg, how straight it is. And both are important. So take a moment to work on the spine, a moment to work on the leg, and eventually, hopefully, it all evens out a little bit. All right, so our next one then, let's point these toes just for a different sensation. To me at least, it changes the sensation. You did, Gwen. It changes the sensation and kind of takes away from the back side of my leg and moves it kind of more to the top of my foot. And that might just be one feeling that kind of overpowers the other. Maybe this one is still there, but now this top of foot stretch feels slightly overpowering. And then from here, let your spine kind of do whatever it's gonna do. Not overly rounded, but maybe let your head go a little bit heavier. And for me, what I've found just right now, going from this side to the other side, is that this side feels slightly less accessible today. So I don't know that my head necessarily feels super comfortable resting on top. And if you want to go for a more restful position, but you're in the same situation as I am, where I feel like my head is just not resting on my legs super easily, you can always grab something, a pillow. I just happen to have a neck pillow here. You can always just put something or a block to provide some comfort and hang out there if you want. You can always just let yourself just droop without anything touching. It's perfect. And we'll just take one more breath here. Even if your spine is not the primary focus, want to go for a little bit of length best that we can, a little bit of sticking of this tail out. And exhale, we fold maybe a little bit deeper. Good, let's gently lift ourselves up. We'll return to a flex, and we'll just take this right knee out to the right a little bit more. Okay. As you get your left elbow inside of this left leg, think about some length down the left side of your body, so it's not a crunch of coming over. It's really a long reach of your elbow and then pressing, allowing your forearm just to touch the floor. And then reach your right arm up and over. I feel like this is mainly, I want to find some leverage, my elbow against my leg to help me open up my chest. So as you find your right side body stretch, wherever you are is perfect. Take an inhale, lift up on your left side body. So there's a lot of strength there. And then on your exhale, you reach and find some length down the right side of your body. We know this. Relax your right shoulder. I always tell myself because it's always hyped up to here. And another inhale. Let's go lift a little bit taller. And on your exhale, see if you can rotate so your left side rib cage starts to maybe scooch inside of your left leg. Rotate your chest up toward the ceiling. In this one, even though our both hips are grounded, it's easy to feel like the left one gets a little bit more weight. And as such, it's like a little bit heavy and sinking down in this general area. Continue to send energy out through your left heel. So it's farther away from you. There's a little bit more activity in your left leg. And continue to find that stretch down the right side body. Good, we'll take one more breath here. Inhale, lift. And exhale, if you can push your elbow into your leg, open up your chest just a bit more. Yes, inhale, let's lift ourselves up. Good, left leg stays the same, right leg. Let's just swap it. So instead of internal, we're closing it off. So from here, flex your both feet again. Notice if your left leg is tilting out towards the left, re-square it, re-square your upper body, and then find your gentle hinge. So you might go, you can still do hands behind here and kind of lift yourself up, find some activity. And it's interesting, like these hamstring stretches are almost as much as you put into them. So visually, if like you look at me, this looks kind of very similar to like this, but there's so much more activity in that one. That's more just like, I know that I'm putting activity into it. So it's really however much you want to. And I feel like every single day, you don't need to be always like super, super active. There are days where you're just like, let me see what my body's gonna do for me without like too much activity, too much like, now I have to send energy out my heel. Now I have to straighten out my leg. Now I have to straighten out my spine. There are days I really do feel where you just let your body be and see what happens, and that's perfect too. So whether you're doing sort of like much more active or allowing your body kind of to be, find yourself in that place. I think it's sometimes, again, it's depending on the day, but when you start to feel like nothing at all, maybe then add like an element of something. So there's a bit of change there, right? But again, there are days when I'm just like, this is just what we're gonna do. Do a quick little stretch and not think about it too much and feel good about it afterwards. All right, we'll just do one more breath here. In through your nose. And exhale out. All right, your next inhale, let's lift ourselves up. We'll keep our right leg the same and then switch this up. So our left leg is at this 90-degree angle. And it's totally normal. You see my left knee is like kind of popping up off of the floor. Totally, totally normal. All right, so once you're in this place, let's square up and find a gentle fold. Now again, it might be the case you keep your hands right here, or you want to come down to your elbows. This takes off some weight. For me, this actually doesn't feel super nice. I'm gonna try, and I encourage you to try like anything that you want to experiment with, see what works a little bit better. I do find though, the elbows wide though, helps me keep square. Right? The moment I start to bring my elbows in, I feel like my body is just like inching towards the inside of my both legs as opposed to squaring up over my left shin here. So Let's find this place. Anytime I'm working like full pigeon, which is basically the 90 degree in the front and the straight leg back behind, I also feel the same way. I like to have my right arm outside of my left foot so I can stay square. And I use a lot of weight in my arms actually to support myself just to maintain the squareness of the position. It's a lot of work. All right, let's take one more breath here, in through your nose. You experiment with how much you want to use your elbows. Maybe you start to slide your elbows out farther. And exhale, let yourself melt a little bit deeper. And think about even like one small element, which is just your head. Oftentimes I feel like we put in a lot of effort and energy in lifting our head up, when in reality, for like a stretch like this, totally feel free to let that all go, right? Let your head drop down as well, so you can fully actually relax and enjoy that place. Good, and then let's gently lift ourselves up. This time we are going to be deliberately coming over to our right hand side. So with your legs like so, we'll start to maybe frame this left foot a little bit more. And the one thing you'll notice when you start to kind of shift this arm positioning is that your spine will want to round on you. I can feel it very like obvious right now. So it is very normal if your spine starts to want to round on you. Continue to find some length here. And if this still feels like accessible-ish, start to go maybe a little bit deeper. And I love this whole elbow against something thing, where you have one body part pushing against another body part to work toward a goal that it both wants to achieve. I love that. So for me, if you can get some part of your arm, even if it's here, not even at your elbow, right? We're going for something like, if you've always like kind of been here and you're like, well, Jen always says elbow or higher. That's true. But if you want to start making your way toward this kind of a deeper over to your right position, and it's not your elbow just quite yet, totally just bring some part of your arm on the outside. I think even if it's your wrist, you start to twist a little bit more into it. And then really, once you get this position, sliding your arm out a little bit farther is just a matter of that forward fold. So take your time just being in this position. Allowing this left hip to open up is huge. And you'll find yourself kind of going a little bit closer to your elbow a little bit at a time. And just like I mentioned, sometimes in frog, like there's a huge benefit once you start to get to be able to split your knees wider, which is that the soft part of your leg, your inner thigh, hits the floor as opposed to the hard part of your knee. I think the benefit here, if you can think of that like, the what is it, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, is that once you do get your like inch your way so that it's your elbow or higher, because it's a joint, right? We start to bend here. You have so much more leverage to push and twist, right? When you're sort of like here, when you're working on the forward fold, it's harder in some ways. You have no leverage to twist. So you're stuck kind of in this place in a slightly more difficult position in some ways. And then once you have your elbow, again, in some ways, it just feels slightly more accessible to move into your twist. So the different options, of course, if you do have your elbow of some sort or higher, you can use your right hand against the floor, check your right shoulder out, draw it back, open your chest, push against the floor, and twist. Or ball up your left hand fingers, push right palm into your left knuckles, and push from there. And this, I think, also just gives you a little bit of elevation to help you better lever that twist. Okay, wherever you are, let's just take one more breath here. And where you might be here as well, working on that forward fold, in through your nose, or here, or here. And exhale out through your nose. Very good. And let's gently lift ourselves out of this one. We'll take this front leg or left leg, bend it, and start to straighten out this right leg back behind. I always like to do this tucked toes position just because I feel like it helps me square. Again, going for my right hip flexor, which just setting this up, I'm not even there yet. I already feel like it's very tight. So maybe you walk your hands back a little bit, maybe walk your toes back a little bit, and I'm still slightly hinged forward. I'm gonna use my hands to prop myself up best I can, right? Feels a little bit tight, but you just do the best that you can. Lift yourself up. There's maybe like a slight pinch in your low back just to lift yourself up a little taller. And we'll start to hinge. Maintain all of this lift, right? So your belly doesn't start to crunch on you. You maintain that length through your spine. And of course, your handy dandy elbows, forearms are right there to catch you. And if you like this, stay, right? It's not every single time, again, that you have to go to like the final option, right? There is time and place for all the options. So feel what your body needs today. And if you feel square, you feel good in this place, stay. It's great. You feel a lot of heaviness, a lot of work in your left side. And just breathe into this place. Allow this left side to soften, to relax, to be more receptive each time. If it does feel good though, to kind of slide your elbows out and press your upper body weight over. Just as you transition, as you separate your elbows out, maintain the length through your chest, right? So we're not all of a sudden collapsing. We maintain all of that length. And then notice again, if you are actively holding your head up, totally just let your head relax, drop, breathe. Take a couple breaths here. Though the focus is on this left side kind of hip opening stuff, if you can afford to, or if you are so inclined to do so, you can do a quick check-in with your back leg as well. So even when you're down here, you can check, see if you want to tuck your toes in again, and perhaps send your right leg out behind you a bit longer. Feels good to rest your head on the floor, right? And no longer have to hold it up as you do all day. Take one more breath in through your nose. Stay square, not dropping over to our left-hand side. And exhale, melt. Let your head be heavy. Good. On your next inhale, start to use your palms to push yourself up. Lift, lift, lift. And then check it again. We're going to start or go to that place where we started off. Lift your chest up. For me, I feel like I have slightly more access now. Open up through your chest. If you want to do the tuck of your toes back, find that nice stretch through your right hip flexor. Ooh, I feel all the things. All right. And let's gently then let our weight shift over to this left-hand side. We'll keep our left leg as is and just swing this right leg nice over, heel outside of your left knee. Check, of course, right butt cheek down. And just by dropping this down, notice if your right knee has fallen over to the right, we square it back up. Bring your right hand close with your base. Reach your left arm up high. And somewhere outside of your, your left arm pushes against the outside of your right leg. Lift your chest. Pull your navel in and keep it all in. Keep yourself tall as you twist. One more time in, lift. And exhale, twist. Good. Gently, gently untwist. All right, from here, let's find ourselves just in this Baddha Konasana position. So soles of our feet together. As we do, just one more reinforcement for our hips. See if you can, without using your hands for too much help, just drop these knees out to the right, to the left. All right, and that's as far as we are, which is good. Start to hinge forward. And then if you have access to it, use your elbows to help push into your inner thighs or calves, wherever it hits. I think for some people this doesn't work proportionally, and that's just fine. You might need to change where you're holding onto your feet. or it might just not work in general, and that's fine too. We'll do one more breath here, lengthen. Stay for your exhale. See if you can hinge a little bit deeper with your very long spine. Nice. And gently lift yourself up. Keep your right hand close with the base. Bring your left hand onto your left inner thigh area and gently push away. So I almost think of, as I push away, my chest faces my right hand side even more. And then I'm working my left arm to kind of a straight position, right? So I'm literally pushing my left leg out of the way. Good. Take one more breath here in through your nose. Exhale, so you can push into your palm. Go a little bit deeper. Yes. And gently undo. We'll do the other side. Left hand close with your base. Right hand pushes somewhere inside of your inner thigh, your calf area. Push it away. And as you push, straighten out or somewhat straight your arm, my chest starts to face this left hand side. Good. We'll do a couple more breaths here. Inhale. On your exhale, so you can push a little bit deeper. Yes. Maybe you twist a little bit more. Good. And then we'll gently undo. We'll keep our legs like this, and we'll let our shoulders kind of do some work here. So just to start, we'll do very, very basic shoulder circles. So roll your shoulders forward and up. Your biggest range, squeeze your blades and lower them down. These are so slow. And roll them forward and then up. Circle them back, squeeze your blades, lower your shoulders down. Twice more like that. Roll them forward, up to your ears. Squeeze your blades, lower your shoulders down. One more time. And go roll, go lift. And go squeeze your blades. And we'll reverse here, just 4 of them. So squeeze your blades and lift. You roll these shoulders forward. So big, so deliberate. Go squeeze your blades, go squeeze. Lift up through your shoulders, roll them forward. Ooh. 2 more time. When we make them super slow and deliberate, ooh, I feel all the things. And roll them forward. Ooh. Last time, go squeeze and lift. And roll them forward. Nice. And we'll just take these fingers, then interlace them. Push your palms straight up into the ceiling. Good. So starting with neutral. On your inhale, though, we'll start to a little bit make this more dramatic. So draw your arms back. See if you can push up your chest even with your legs in this kind of prohibitive place. Exhale, palms face you. Now separate your blades. Separate them out. Ooh. Good, Kristen. Yes. It's so easy to kind of move through those really fast and like not feel anything, but we've moved through them so slowly. Inhale. Go push your palms out and squeeze your blades. So think of sending your chest like not only forward, but maybe up high toward the ceiling. Ooh. Shoulders, arms, draw back. And exhale, go palms face you. Separate, separate, separate. Ooh. Twice more. Inhale, push your palms up. Lift up tall through chest. Draw your arms back a little bit. And exhale, go round hollow. The space between your chest and your palms as wide as possible. And last time, inhale, go push your palms up. Draw your arms back. Ooh, and exhale, go around. We're gonna stay here. So, in this rounded position, right, we're creating a lot of space between our chest and our palms. Do a little bit of right-left for me. So as you move into the right, really feel your left blade kind of push out even farther. And then switch. As you move your arms to your left, feel your right blade want to push out to the side even farther. Ooh. And do it again. As your arms move to the left, actively push apart your blades. Your left blade feels like it's going to leave your body on the left. Good. Come back through center. And again, make that space, shoulders away from ears. Push out your right blade. Good. And come back through center. Good. Inhale. We'll take our arms up, separate. And lower actually from a T shape. Bring your hands to your shoulders. Or we'll do like some like infinity movements. So we'll keep this shape, right? So not letting these elbows come inward, but maintaining this open position, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow. We'll let our body kind of move with, right? So think of scraping the front wall with your right elbow. And then take your right elbow up as high as possible, send it back. As you do that, of course, your left is coming forward. So it's like you're rowing an oar, or you're creating this infinity sign, however you want to think of it. Again, you're going for your widest range possible, keeping the openness of your chest as you allow yourself to move, row your boat. Good, take your time in this. You might not follow my pace, and that's totally fine, right? Do what works for you, your biggest range of motion. Good. Next time you find yourself finishing up your right and your left, take a quick pause. All right, so I just finished my left. Let's reverses. So we're now rowing forward. So this left elbow comes from top down, and this right elbow goes back and then rows forward. And all of this, we are, of course, working the openness of our shoulders, big range. But notice, because we're in Baddha Konasana, we're still doing that hip opening. And because we need to make space for our elbows that are these oars, we have to lift up tall. So such good core work, such good twist. Yes. Yes, very good. And we'll do just a couple of more of these rows. Take your time. Find your body in that twist. Lift your elbow as high as possible. Row it forward. Yes. And then when you're finished with your left and your right, good. Find yourself back in a neutral position. Tee out your arms. Actually, goalpost your arms, my bad. So, I'm gonna face the side real quick. We're still in this Baddha Konasana. I'm like, oh, these hips. All right, so in this goalpost position, you check out your wrists real quick. It'll be really, really tempting, all right? I already know this about me, to go like this, right? To break our wrists. So we'll keep them in a very neutral position. We'll start with this left one. So keep your elbow up high, paddle this guy back. So your palm pushes back. Oh, notice this huge rotation in your shoulder just to continue paddling back. It might feel very uncomfortable. Good, and then gently return it. You want to keep the height of your elbow. I see that I've lost the height and I'm just restoring it now. So I need to work on that. Let's do the right. So keep the height of your right elbow, and then as you paddle this right palm back, notice if there's a break at your wrist at any point in time, and it can really happen at any point in time. So just check it out, maintain the height of your elbow. This will feel terrible, especially if you've been climbing a whole bunch, and bring yourself back up into your place, right? This neutral spine should be okay, right? So let's take this paddle back again. Keep the height of your left elbow as you push back. My arm is literally shaking because I'm trying to push back. My shoulder's like Give me a second. And gently bring it all the way back up. And that rotation back into this goalpost shape also feels like a lot for me. You'll let me know how it feels for you. And then go right palm back. Keep your shoulders relaxed away from ears. Check out your wrist. Check out the height of your elbow. Yep. And then bring it back. Good. And then from here, just this neutral goalpost position, we'll take our elbows forward and our hands back, backs of our hands back, still with your wrists straight, and return to neutral. Do it again. Go, elbows come forward, tops of our hands go back, like your palms are facing up toward the ceiling, closer, and return. Again, no break at your wrists, go, yes. Yes, and come back through center. Yes, I agree. Great for your rotator cuff, so nice, good. And let's do 2 more. Elbows come forward, palms, tops of hands go back, palms face up, return. And I notice, by the way, I start to hinge forward in this, so if you're noticing that about yourself too, lean back just a hair, okay? Yes. And return back to center. Good. Let's take both then, paddle back. So you keep your elbows lifted, your shoulders, same height as your shoulders. Nice, Ellen. Okay, so your maximum place, I know this is terrible, but my attempt is to go perpendicular to the floor, but clearly I'm not quite there, and my shoulders are hiking up to my ears. See if you relax your shoulders down as you start to push these guys back. And we'll do just a couple of these kind of small pulses back. And then just notice right here, your shoulders, what they're doing. Try relax them a little bit. Let's do 8 more. Check your wrists, go 8. Go 7, yes. Go 6. Go 5. Woo. Go 4. Go 3. I'm so excited about the next thing. That's terrible. 2, we're excited about this right now. And 1. Good, and then gently return to our original goalpost position. All right, push it out, right, left, lower, down. Okay, find a quick malasana, not malasana, like my lazy malasana. Is it Cher? Is that your name? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. All right, so our lazy malasana, right? So our feet are out a little bit wider, maybe like mat width apart or so. We'll do a little chicken wings, right? So the tops of our hands, I'm gonna straighten out my legs for now, just to show. Tops of our hands are on either side, right? So chicken wings, lazy malasana. Let this left knee drop a little bit out to the left, and then kind of lean over to your right to let this left elbow come inside of our left leg. Now I want us to be gentle with this because it's not super friendly once we're in it. So we have one arm in. We're gonna do the other arm in, so be careful here. You're gonna scoot this right elbow inside of our right leg. So you have both arms inside your both legs. And then little bit, you will start to close these feet up maybe and start to draw these knees in toward each other. So it's kind of not super comfortable, and you will reach a terminal point. So this, for instance, is mine. But you should feel a nice little stretch going through the outsides of these guys. And you're using your knees to kind of manage how much pressure you put into it. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. In through your nose. Exhale out. Best we can, we relax into it. Inhale in. And exhale out. Super. And to come out of it, let's gently release these knees. And again, we'll face this right hand side. Release this left elbow, release this right elbow, and shake it loose. Find a comfortable seat. It doesn't have to be Baddha Konasana any longer. All right, and we'll just do some swims, not very quick. We don't want to randomly change the tempo on ourselves. Right now, we'll just swim it all the way back with our right. And let's swim it all the way forward. One more time, let's swim it back. Go back. Give yourself that really big open chest twist. And swim it forward. Let's do our left-hand side. Swim this left go all the way back. Ooh. And all the way forward. I used to think it was my right arm that would get more sort of tightness. And then go one more time with this left. But lately I've definitely found that my left is feeling a little bit funkier. And swim it forward. Woo. And whichever leg you had crossed, if you had it crossed, let's just lean back and switch it real quick. Relax your hands down onto your lap. Close down your eyes. Relax your face, empty out your lungs. Take a full deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Breathe in again. I am so thankful for everybody coming out, stretching it out together. Exhale. Start to relax your face, your brow, your cheeks, your jaw, shoulders. Your next inhale, open your eyes. So good to see everybody. Let me know what you thought on the scale of mellow. Pretty mellow. We're not going to go down to yin style yoga, which is like 4 postures for a whole hour. But I think like hopefully there were enough options so that we could be as mellow, or if we wanted a little bit more active postures, we could kind of move in that direction too. I think we need a little bit more time on shoulders. That was definitely like a quick, oh yeah, now we're doing shoulders type of thing. But we will do some more of that next time for sure. Hey, Manasi, yes, girl. So shoulders, I think we need to first and foremost put that on the agenda for next Sunday. But also let me know what else. I'm sure you're feeling all sorts of different things. So even if it's something that you feel like is very random, like, oh, my fingers feel a little bit weird or whatever it is, you just let me know. Yeah, we'll figure it out together. I love it. It's good to see all of you. And I will see you. Oh, so tomorrow is our Starburst, just 15. But next Sunday, always all the things nice and long and gooey. And yes, perfect, Ellen. Yeah, it's weird, right? Slow stuff is kind of hard too. So mellow-ish, but also quite the challenge too. And sometimes like personality wise, for instance, I'm somebody who's like more like, this is really good for me as a practice to not be quite so, all right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow or sometime this week or next week. Okay. Bye, my friends.